What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Chris Valenti. I got a special guest on stream today. As you know, we've been doing interviews. I got to interview Claire Valdez. I got to interview Brad Lander. And now I have the grand opportunity to interview Jose Vega, who is running against Richie Torres, and I believe District 14, right?
15.
New York District 15. So you know what? I'll let you do the talking. Why don't you explain who you are and where you're running and why you're running to the chat?
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Jose Vega, Bronx, born and raised. I've built up a reputation for being a troublemaker. I go up to politicians and I confront them in different places, whether that's at their town halls or whether that's in diners, like I confronted Richie Torres. Notoriously, I've confronted everybody from Kamala Harris to Mike Pompeo, and they've gone viral. These videos, they've been translated into dozens of languages. They go viral around the world, and I was doing all that before I turned 25. And now I'm 27 years old, and this is my second time running. The first time I ran as a straight independent 2 years ago. Now I'm running in the Democratic primary and as an independent. I'm doing basically like Cuomo, a poor man's Cuomo, because if, Zohran Mamdani deserved to win the mayoral seat, but Richie Torres doesn't deserve to stay there. So win or lose the Democratic primary, we have another shot, another 5 months of campaigning. And I met Guy here last year when he made a video going after Richie Torres because Richie Torres personally expelled him or got him expelled from his school.
I know
and
about
then he
that.
made a video. Yeah.
It was absolutely crazy. By the way, guys, some of you may know me. My name is Guy Christensen. I'm a 20-year-old college student and a political activist.
A little louder for us, Guy, just a little bit.
Yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. My name is Guy Christensen. I'm 20 years old. I'm a college student. You guys may have seen my videos online. Just over a year ago now, I was spending some of my time calling out Richie Torres for the millions that he's taken from AIPAC and the Pro-Israel lobby and all the genocide profiteering are taken in. And after seeing those videos, Richie Torres wrote a letter to the Capitol Police about me. He asked them, can you investigate Guy Christensen for making threats against me over these fucking TikTok videos? And, the day after that letter got put out and Richie sent it to the New York Post here, put it all over the media, I got a notification from a university saying, you are expelled. And
Oh, I lost him. What the fuck? Is that Mossad? But why don't you guys want to dive right into some of the interview questions I got for you?
Go for it.
All right, let's do it. So the first thing is pretty much, just so that people who have never heard of you should know to vote for you. Why should a young voter choose to vote for you instead of Richie Torres?
Because, well, it's, first of all, I'm not going to give your money to kill more Palestinian children or continue to fund Israeli healthcare when we don't have any healthcare here in the United States. Not only that, the decisions will be made based on what me and the constituents think, not what the donors think, not what the people in my pocket think. Secondly, because I'm working to overturn the entire system that upholds people like Richie Torres. I think many of your viewers and yourself know that Richie Torres is a big symptom of the problem. When you have people like Hakeem Jeffries, who also take tons of money from AIPAC, Cory Booker, who takes tons of money from AIPAC as well, and all these other dirty Democrats and Republicans all take money from these corporate lobbyists. Like, there are very few congressmen I trust, and that's why I'm pretty excited about this slate that's coming up right now, especially with Daria Lisa. I think she's like the strongest out of all of the contenders right now, and I really do want to see her win. But I'm trying to bring that fire and that energy into the halls of Congress. I've been bringing it way before I ever decided to run for office, and here I am just doing another iteration of it. So, people should vote for me and donate and support because we're going to continue to tackle the system, and we're going to continue to tackle the establishment and the Epstein class.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Well, your opponent, Richie, he's been in power for, I believe, like 5.5 years. So what you think is the biggest problem your constituents, because yes, this is power on a national level, but the people who vote you in are going to be your constituents. What do you think is the biggest problem your constituents have been facing that Richie has kicked down the road and you are ready to actually address it if elected?
Well, one of those things is affordable housing and public housing. Richie Torres was in the city council and he said he wanted to go into the Congress to do something on a federal level for housing. And instead, he's decided to fund more dead children and more bombs for Israel while there's collapsing housing happening here in the Bronx. We just had a Mitchell housing that collapsed. And the people who were in that building who still had an apartment were out without hot water and heat for 4 months in the dead of the winter, and they still had to pay their rent. NYCHA needs about $90 billion in repairs right now just to maintain it, not even to upgrade it or anything like that. I mean, it's completely abysmal what's going on. And so one of the big things we would do is public housing reconstruction. We would get young people working with the Army Corps of Engineers and retired union leaders so that they can do top-down inspections of the public housing and generate a federal report as to why there is this disrepair and how it can be fixed and what the money would be used for, so we can get that on a crash emergency basis and get all of the public housing repaired within 1 to 3 years without displacing anybody else. And you can do that. It's all a matter of political will. It's no matter of just getting it done. So yeah.
I think that what you're saying here has been proven by Zoran coming in and immediately, cleaning up the pothole, fixing up the potholes, cleaning up the snow, doing like a lot of things that Zoran has done so far have been proof that there's not much standing in the way of elected officials other than their donors and their super PACs and APAC and all that. So I guess here's my next question. You're a young guy. You're younger than I am, actually. Was there a specific moment that made you go, yeah, I have to run for Congress?
I think it goes way back to when I lost my basement apartment in 2018. It was the first time I had my own bedroom and I was living with my mom. And I lived in this basement apartment where the ceiling was caving in with sewage water from
Oh,
the upstairs neighbors. And the landlords refused to do anything and it came gushing out. And I went to the city councilman's office, and the city council, his name was Fernando Cabrera, and his chief of staff was Greg Faulkner. And they were very helpful in the beginning, but then I started getting a lawyer and I said, I'm going to go after the landlord. Turns out he owns like 100 other buildings. And suddenly the chief of staff said to me, well, what if somebody came to you with $15,000? Would you just let all this go? And I was like, are you crazy?
that's
Like, that's not
Israeli
even,
as fuck.
I was like, are you crazy? Like, no, of course not. Like, I would consider it for $999 million, and even then, like, I would only consider it. But no, I'm not. I'm not like gonna just give this up. Like, there's other people in the disrepair. So what he did was he called my mom later that night and said, if your son goes through with this lawsuit, you're gonna be blacklisted from ever renting an apartment in New York City again. And that freaked my mom out because all her daughters are here. They're much older than I am. Her family is here. And that's when so one day I came home, like the 2 days after that, and they had changed the locks. And I called the police, and the police were like, well, you're gonna have to call your mom because her name's on the lease. And my mom was just like, no, I'm not fighting this, son. You got to stop this. And she was just like, don't worry, we're gonna leave. Like, we don't want to be kicked out of New York City. And we were homeless. We were going bouncing house to house with my family and from different family members and stuff until we were able to find a new place for months. And it was
Jesus
abysmal.
Christ.
And like that right there, I realized, like, okay, like the system is pretty corrupt in New York City. But then I know that this is happening to everyone in every other part of the country. Like, this isn't just a local issue. Like, this level of corruption is what upholds the government right now. And so I was like, you know what? Like, somebody needs to do something about it. And so that's when I started getting into politicians' faces, because I was only in my early 20s when that happened. I was getting into politicians' faces. I was like going viral for confronting them. And like, yeah, I was like, you know what? I gotta challenge the power directly. And so I was like, we got to run for office because it's the right thing to do, even if it seems wrong or impossible. We have to do it because it's the right thing to do, to challenge these, APAC a-holes
Well,
and get
yeah.
them out of office.
I think that's incredibly commendable. So clearly you, if elected, you would genuinely represent the Bronx, right? And not just the Bronx, but all of your constituents, I'm pretty sure. What parts of New York City is your district other than the Bronx?
No, it's the
Entirely
only
the
district.
Bronx. Okay, so
Entirely
then
the Bronx, yeah.
you clearly represent Bronx residents and Bronx values, right? What do you think Richie Torres currently represents? Who does he represent?
Israel, Wall Street.
I mean, last year I looked through all of Richie Torres' statements, posts, and speeches to
Yeah.
track how often he covered poverty and tried to, poverty that his district is facing. NY-15 is the poorest house district in our nation. And I found out that Richie Torres spoke about Israel, in favor of Israel, 3,328% more often than poverty during his time in office since October 2023 until that point, which I think is disgusting. It shows where his priorities are.
Yeah,
How many
especially
times has he visited Tel Aviv, and how many times has he visited the Bronx? I think far more times.
Yeah.
It's clear where his priorities lie, and they're not with the people.
He hasn't held a town hall since I confronted him in February of 2023 and called him an Israeli lobby plant to his face. He's never held a town hall ever since then.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, to be frank. All right, so wait, let me give you just a couple rapid fire questions then. Abolish ICE, yes or no?
Yes. Yes, you can go further. Abolish the CIA, the FBI, the NSA.
Abolish the CIA! That's not a conversation people are ready to have. And it's like, dude, they're fucking out of their mind. Okay, so abolish ICE and also go further. Okay, universal health care, yes or no?
Yes, 1,000%. I just spent the night at the ER, and it turns out I lost my insurance coverage because of the fucking Trump federal cuts. So when my mom went to renew our health insurance, I didn't qualify. So now I'm going to be stuck with an emergency room bill, and I'm going to have to pay out of pocket for prescription drugs going forward. So it's like, yeah, universal health care.
Okay. How about this one? Not only affordable housing, but all affordable and dignified housing for everybody.
Yes,
okay.
That's the big one. I don't want people to just live in storage containers that are fucking adapted. Everyone can have a spacious home. Yes, absolutely. Dignified living standards.
Absolutely. And then the last rapid fire one, which I'm pretty sure I know your answer, free Palestine?
Nah, well, of course, yeah. Of course.
Free Palestine. You'd be surprised, man. You ask a lot of people who are running or already in power, and it's like they start playing basketball. They're like, there's a lot of nuance to that, man. Some of those babies are scary, But you passed those, and I think that everybody in the chat would agree you passed those. All right, a couple more here. Who do you think is the most underrated politician right now that is actually like fighting to get progressive values passed through, progressive policies, but they're not really getting the recognition that they deserve?
That's a good question. I mean, does Ro Khanna qualify? I feel like he gets dominated by like AOC, but I'm more inclined to go towards like Ro Khanna because he's actually working, like he's like getting real progress. Like he worked across the aisle to get the Epstein files through.
He's willing to like, bend a little bit and be like, listen, I might not agree with Thomas Massie on 99.9% of things, but that motherfucker wants the release of the Epstein files, so I'm going to work in tandem with him. I agree with you there. Okay, now, I guess the last question, because I like to keep these short and sweet. I think that nowadays the young attention span is sort of like a broken lawnmower, and you got to keep on revving it. If I give you 30 seconds to convince a politically disengaged New Yorker to come out and vote for you, because right now we live in an era where a lot of people, like, they may hate the Republicans, but they're like, the Democrat establishment isn't doing diddly shit, why should I vote? If I give you 30 seconds, and I'm gonna get the clock up here, to convince a politically disengaged, let's call it 25-year-old constituent of yours to take time out of their day and come out and actually vote for you, what would you say starting now?
I know that the system has failed us for the last 50 years. It's left the Bronx as the poorest congressional district in the country. Both Democrats and Republicans do not care about us, and there was a systematic genocide to prevent us from existing. But we're here, and we're here to disrupt the system, and we're here to declare our independence again from all the BS. We're here to declare our independence from the Epstein class. Voting for me means you're voting against the establishment. You're voting against the Epstein class, and it's the way forward. Declare your independence, vote Vega.
Atta boy, 31 seconds, you've been disqualified from the election. That was incredible. No, listen, I think this is one of the best interviews I've ever gotten through. I really like you. I think that, compared to Richie Torres, it's night and day. It's night and day. Clearly, you represent the people of the Bronx more than he does. And also, I will say this, I do think that there is a obviously APAC funded and a lot of other organizations, but the social media like algorithms are really pumping out people like Richie Torres or even in California, what was the motherfucker who just lost? I forgot his name. He was
Eric.
Whatever the
Swalwell?
fuck. No, not Swalwell. The other, it doesn't matter. Point being is I think that the Republican Party and their candidates are being pumped out by the social media algorithms far more than any leftist or progressive candidates are. And I think that it's up to people like me, up to people like Guy, and I'm glad he's with you right now, up to Kyle Kalinske, Hassan Piker, everybody who, in this day and age, we are the new, the megaphone of the people. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to hop on this stream and answer a couple of questions, because I think this is going to help a lot. I think it's going to do some good trouble.
Thank you.
Some good trouble.
Thank you. No,
Spencer
thank you
Pratt.
for
That's the name of the motherfucker. Spencer Pratt. He was all over social media and he got bodied. He didn't even come in like 5th place or something like that, just like Nancy Mace. Anyway. Thank you so much, Jose. Thank you so much, Guy.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your time.
If you guys want to volunteer or donate to the campaign, you can do it. You can volunteer anywhere in the world. That's phone banking, anywhere in the world. VoteVega.nyc. If you're in the area and you're willing to come down to New York City, VoteVega.nyc.
VoteVega.nyc right here.
Text me the link and I'll...
VoteVega.nyc.
VoteVega.nyc. Mods, can you put that link in the chat, please, so people can hop on that? Thank you so much. Great interview. Great guys, both of you. And I wish you both the best. Hopefully we can do this again, but you'll actually be elected.
Yes.
You know?
Let's do it.
Fuck yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Inshallah.
Inshallah! Oh, that was great. That was great. Okay, well, if you're watching this live, you stay, because we have a lot more to do. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Love you.